there. Maybe. All right. Well, I hope people can hear me. Feel free to chat if you got anything to say. Tonight, we'll be working on some music, writing lyrics in specific. So I have a song that I've been writing. I played a little bit. I have some pieces, so I got a good foundation. I like to have a little bit of a foundation before I start, like at least know what I'm going to be singing about. Maybe even have some good lines that I've written, because this is a song I've been playing on here whenever I just kind of messing around. But hey, what's up, man? It's good. So yeah, dude, this is a song I wrote. I've played it a little bit before. It's really good to see somebody on here tonight. But it's called 30 Day Guarantee. Now, I'm writing this lyrics. I've got pieces of it. I've got the ideas. So really, it's kind of like a Johnny Cash vibe. Like if you've ever listened to some like deep cuts on Johnny Cash, not like the stuff everybody knows like Ring of Fire, but stuff like Papa Played a Dobro. Some of the working man songs where he talks about a town, right? So my kind of idea around this song is this thing my my dad used to do when I was a kid. He would go to the store and he would get something if he needed it, and then he would take it back within the return period because really we couldn't afford it. Oh, I'm really quiet. Hold on. That could be the microphone not being close enough to me. Is that a little bit better? I can turn the gain up too. Appreciate you telling me I'm quiet. I might not have the gain right. Give me a second. Is that any better, Rob, man? All right, a little. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn up the gain. That's going to mess with my recordings when we do those in a minute. But that doesn't really matter because I'm trying to write this, right? So we're going to kind of be listening to the back of it. But let me get that fixed. All right, vocals. Turn the gain up. Whoop. All right. How's things been going with Coal State, man? You guys playing anywhere soon? Let's see if I can get closer. I don't need to run a diagnostic. I need you to work. That's because it wanted to go to the internet instead of using my Wi-Fi on my mixer. That would be why. Got more than one thing here. All right, there it is. All right, I'll get the gain put up. Few shows in August. Where are you playing in August? Synchronizing. That's the downside of playing with a wireless mixer. All right. Let me know if that sounds better. I can already, it sounded a little bit better for me. I hate having the gain up a lot because it can mess up recordings, make them a little bit distorted, especially like clip distortion. But I don't have this close enough and I don't want to move it around, so we'll just keep it here. And plus, when I start singing, I'm gonna have to back up. Right now, I'm just talking. But anyway, this song idea, hopefully the sound is better. Brewer in Newville and JBS in Mechanicsburg. You have to throw the dates in the chat too so people know when to come see you guys. I still really I'm still pretty happy when you guys were on here and played Ambulance. I love that song of yours, especially the track. But usually I had a radio show, but I kind of backed away from it because it was just such a pain in the butt to deal with the AI cutting the music all the time. That was really frustrating. So anyway, this song, 30 Day Guarantee, it's about basically what my dad did when I was a kid. He used to go if he needed something, but only needed it like once or twice. He would go to the store and then he would take it back when he was done with it. So I've got a chorus. I'm going to record and sing the chorus a little bit here. Let me get my picture-in-picture up so you can see my Logic. So I use Logic for a DAW. We don't really need this. I could just keep my face on it, but here's the track. They got 30-day return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I just use their guarantee. They got 30-day return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I just use their guarantee. Got 30 days guaranteed. Got 30 days guaranteed. Alright, this is where I'm going to put the verse. And that's actually going to be a lot of talking, but this is where I want to write something because I don't have anything here yet. So this will just loop. So I made this like scratch track, last time I went live, and it this is what I came up with. I recorded these guitar parts, and now I'm looping them so I can write this part. But this goes along with the Johnny Cash vibe. See if I can get that microphone closer. Hopefully it sounds good. But basically, in a lot of his songs, he would do like a kind of sing-song talk, and he'd tell a story, you know? It's one of my favorite things about Johnny Cash. Anyway, so this part where I'm trying to write is a specific event that happened when I was a kid. Yeah, that's right. One man's trash is another one's treasure. It's very similar. So anyway, you would this part I'm trying to write here is about a specific incident when I was a kid where my dad had rented a chainsaw he bought a chainsaw from Home Depot, and they went around the trailer park and everybody used it to cut down the trees and brush and shit that they needed to get rid of. So anyway, I got pieces. I haven't actually written it, but basically it would be kind of a sing-song talk like Johnny Cash did. So now, when I was just a young lad, my daddy, he went and told me about a thing that... See, actually, I got actually a good part here. It came to me, so it's gonna start over. When I was just a young lad, my dad, he used to teach me about this scam he had where he would go to the store and get something he needed. He'd buy it up and he wouldn't be much, but he would take it back 30 days later because he needed something else without. Again, I'm just going off the top of my head, but that's kind of the idea of what I'm trying to write here. So the Sam that he had, where he went to the store and he would pick up what he needed. And anyway, he went and got a chainsaw from Home Depot and he brought it back to the trailer park and he started cutting down that pesky tree. Well, my neighbor saw that he had one, so he asked him if he could borrow it some, and he took it over next door and he had his piece. And that chainsaw went around the park, and it was the best damn way you'd ever seen. So that's the idea, right? As they're actually not lyrics, I came up with a lot of those off the top of my head right now. But basically going through the chainsaw part, telling a story, and then I'm gonna probably have to come back later to the recording and figure out what I said and liked in that part. But I think a lot of it was pretty good. Don't know if there's any feedback from the people watching. So, but that's kind of the idea, right? I actually really like that. So I'm gonna go to my edit. So right now in my notes, I've got a story about the chainsaw Batty tasked down around the trailer park. And then you get to the next part where I actually have some lyrics that I wrote. But so I said, when I was just a young lad, just a sweet young lad, my dad told me about a trick he had where he'd go down to the store and buy something he needed. Right? That's kind of a good start. That's kind of what I got from what I just heard. I don't want to go back and listen to it because I'm streaming. But the part I really liked is, so anyway, he went down to and bought a chainsaw at the Home Depot and brought it back to the trailer park. It sounded really good. So I might come back to that. So now the next part of the song I have, I actually have that part. So anyway, they took the chainsaw back down to the Home Depot. So then I have the second part where it goes into just like kind of a ska type thing. So it goes, I'm gonna put in here, who's best dancer, and then I want to get to the part where he wrote where I talked about. We went back to, he was taking it back. I said, Dad, why'd you take that? Seemed pretty damn useful. And he said, that's too big, too expensive. All right, so, all right, see, this thing that sucks is I gotta intro this part. I'm gonna record some here. We're actually gonna record, because then we can go back and listen to it. I don't know why I didn't do that. This is the first time I've tried to write lyrics on a live stream. The best thing to do would have been to open up a new track. And I'm going to do that right here when I come back. So the best thing to do would have been to open up a new track and loop that while also recording on the audio, like an audio track. And we're going to do mic line in, input 3, because that's where I got it, and create. We're going to keep it pretty raw. I'm not going to do anything extra. I'm just going to play this. All right. I might want to go into this so that I could get some momentum. It's guaranteed. Got 30 days. Yeah, there we go. Let's go. All right. Just a sweet young lad. My dad told me about this trick he had where he'd go down to the store and buy something that he needed. And he showed me once with the chainsaw. He went down to Home Depot, got one, and brought it back to the trailer park. Yeah, it doesn't quite rhyme, but I wish I'd remembered all that. I'll be able to look at it when I record it. All right, let's move on. And then I'm going to start recording this stuff because it's probably a pretty good idea. I also want to try to figure out the structure to the song, how many times I'm going to go through here. So when you look at this part that I have right here, that's 2 bars, 4 bars, 6 bars. So I got 6 bars right now. I'm going to add another bar. The other thing we want to do, I don't want to delete that. I need that. That's actually very important. Move that down here. I need more runway to, so I'm going to copy that. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to copy that in here, and I'm going to paste it. It's going to be a little bit off. No, I don't want to paste it in that one. I'm going to paste it in this one. It's going to be a little bit off because it's just a scratch cat. But I'm going to give myself that many spots. And we'll see if I can fill that all up with something. That's going to be 6, 12, 18, 24, 30 bars. That's probably one of the bars too many. Especially, but I mean, this song's not going to have a whole lot of other stuff. And it's going to have 2 verses and 2 choruses. And actually, it's going to open up with the chainsaw story, but who knows? I'll delete that because I don't want it there. All right. I was just a sweet young lad. My daddy told me about this trick he had where he'd go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if he only used it once or it was something he didn't want, he'd have to take it back and repair it for his town and back and share it stuff needed. I don't know. So anyways, he went down and needed a chainsaw and brought it back to the trailer park and took it around and got down that pesky tree. Manalo saw that he had one and he decided that he wanted to borrow it some, so he took it off and took up his escaping too. And in that way that passed around, and everybody in the neighborhood, they got around and they picked up, and it was the best place that Bark had ever seen. And as we took it back to the store, my dad said, "Dad, what'd you do that for? It was a pretty useful item. You could have kept it and got some more." And he looked at me, he said, "Son, I don't have the money to buy something this fancy, and it's going on back to that store." And I've done it more than once, you know, these few other times. And then that's when so that's what I'll look here, and then I'll come back and listen to that. So let's listen. Oh, I don't have an output, so you won't hear that. Either that, it's just so low you can't hear nothing. I don't hear it, so we're gonna have to put a gain in here. I'm guessing that I didn't get my music fixed, and it's pretty quiet, so that might be what's going on. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong spots. Alright, let's see if I can make that come up. I'm gonna have to put a track in here, gain. This is where I really hate putting a gain on here, because that's where it's gonna really sound kind of shitty. Where's the utility? There it is. Pop up the gain. Alright, let's see if we can get this popped up. Alright, I don't know why that's not going. Yeah, there we go. But if they only used it once, or it was something they didn't want, he'd have to take it back and repair it. Hey, if anybody's watching, just feel free to jump in and chat. So anyways, he went down and needed a chainsaw and brought it back to the trailer park and took it around and got down that pesky tree. Naylor saw that he had one, and he decided that he wanted to borrow it some, so he took it on. So that right here, listen to these. So I got this. I was just a sweet young lad. My daddy told me about this trick he had. Go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if they only used it once, or it was something he didn't. So I like that starting it out with, but if he only used it once. So I like starting that, so that'll give me a good basis for the next time we come through. So as I'm reading my notes that I have over here on the song, I could see I wanted to start that with, but if he only used it once, and I don't know what else is gonna go here. I was just a sweet young lad. My daddy told me about a trick he had. We'd go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if they only used it once, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna listen to these. I was just something he didn't want. He'd have to. If they only used it once. If they only used it once, or it was something he didn't want. He'd have to take it back and repair it. So, but if he only used it once, or it was something where he wasn't gonna need it much. Ha ha! That's it. So if it was something, that's what it is. So, but if he only used it once, or it was something he wasn't gonna use that much. So that's pretty good. So if it was something that he wasn't gonna use that much, so when we come back in, we're gonna sing that into the song. So when I was just a young lad, my dad told me about this trick he had, where he'd go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if he only used it once, or it was something he wasn't gonna use that much. When he got done, he'd take it back. So I don't know what we're gonna put there, but that's pretty good. So, all right, let's continue to the next bar. So anyways, he went down and needed a chainsaw and brought it back to the trailer park and took it around and got the first time we did that we had. So anyways, he needed a chainsaw so anyways, he went to Home Depot and got himself a chainsaw so that he could take it home and take down that pesky tree. But I liked ending it with the trailer park, like taking it back to the trailer park, because we grew up in a trailer park, and it becomes irrelevant later on when it talks about each person passing it around, right? So if we get that bar. So anyways, he went down and needed a chainsaw. So, anyways, he needed a chainsaw, so we went down to the Home Depot store and picked it up to back to the trailer park. I was just a sweet young lad, so he'd take it on. Just that much. He'd take it on back when he was done, and they'd take it, give him back his money. See, the thing is, it's like when Johnny Cash would say these things where he would have these parts and he'd write a piece where he'd do the saying, like Folsom Prison has it, he talks about it, or like there's a song on the Folsom Blues and Blue album we talk about a guy that got put in prison and he tells the story, right? So you don't always have to have anything rhyming. I like to have things rhyming in part of it so it has kind of a flow, almost like rap, where they have multiple rhymes within a line, or they do that a lot now. So he'd take it on back when he was done, and they'd give him back his money. So I like that. So anyways, one time he needed. He went down to Home Depot and found a chainsaw to cut down a pesky tree. So that's pretty good. So anyways, he went down to the Home Depot and found a chainsaw to cut down a pesky tree. So we'll go with that. We'll go with that. I'm hoping. I checked it. You could hear me earlier. So if the sound is fine, let me know. If it's not, I can try to adjust again. I do have more gain. I hope it's not too loud now. But anyway, we got that. That's pretty good. I was just a sweet young lad. All right, so let's record again. Let's see what the next bar sounds like. All right. Taylor saw that he had. So the neighbor saw that he had one, so he came and asked my dad if he could borrow it some. That's where I like to go with that. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad the sound is fine. So if you have any comments on the music too, just let me know. So the next bar, we haven't quite finished up this bar actually. Saw and brought it back to the trailer park and took it. So anyways, he went down to the Home Depot and found a chainsaw to cut down a pesky tree. He took it on back in his truck, something. We'll figure this one out. Took it back to the trailer park. I want it to end with took it back to the trailer park. Trailer park. All right, so the next bars where the chainsaw found it, where the neighbor found it. Taylor saw that he had one and he decided that he wanted to borrow. So my neighbor saw that he had one. Neighbor saw that he had one, so he asked my dad if he could borrow it some. And he used it to do his landscaping and a little bit of yard work. All right, so we're getting it. And then he passed it on down to everybody in town. And that trailer park looked the best it ever had. Town doesn't quite fit, but we'll go with that. We'll go with that for now. I might find a better word for it later. I mean, you really want to get something sketched and then kind of tweak the lyrics as you go. That's kind of how it goes. Pass it around to everyone in town, and the trailer park looked the best it ever had. So as we're taking it back, I said, hey, Dad, why take it back. It seemed so useful. He said, son, I'd love to own this. And he said, son, escaping too. And in that way that, so I've got a pretty good bones here, so I'm going to try another pass to see what we can come up with. I'm going to try to use as much of this as I can and add parts where we got blanks. So you can't really see my my word pad, but that's what it looks like. So as I'm writing these lyrics, I'm putting them down, and then I'm leaving blanks where I don't have anything. That way, when I come back, I can try to keep as much as I like in here. So let's go back to this beginning. When I was just a wee young lad, my dad told me about this trick he had where he'd go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if he only used it once or was something, he'd take it back when he was... Okay, so I kind of didn't get that feel. I didn't get that feel right, so I gotta go through here. So, but if he only used it once or it was something he wasn't gonna use that much, he'd take it back when he was done, and they'd give him to get back his money. So I'm off on my syllables in here. You can tell that. So I take it on back, and they'd give him back his money. All right. So anyways, he went down to the Home Depot and found a chainsaw to cut down a pesky tree. And my neighbor saw that he had, so I don't even need this bar. I had that way off. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. When I was just a wee young lad, my daddy told me about this trick he had where he'd go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if he only used it once or it was something he wasn't gonna use that much, he'd take it on back and they'd give him back his money. So anyways, he went down to the Home Depot and found a chainsaw to cut down a pesky tree. When my neighbor saw that he had one, he asked my dad if he could borrow it some, and he passed it around. And there you see, blah, 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 blah. Passed it around to everyone in town, and that trailer park looked the best it ever had. See, I'm not sure where that's going either, so we'll come back. So as we're taking it back, I said, hey, Dad, why'd you take that? It seems so useful. But that's just too damn expensive. And then that's where we're going to stop. So so now I know how long the structure of what I want to actually have in here. So that's going to allow me to delete that and then put this in its place. And this is the next half of the verse, which is kind of like a bridge. So now I know the structure. So that was a good thing to get in place. So I know it's going to be this many bars long, which is 6 times 4, which is 24, which is pretty good for a song like this. Now the next part of it is where I start doing the next part where I actually start singing. So it's going to sing a little bit. I'm going to come back to that so that we can put some stuff in here. Super Bowl Sunday, need a big screen TV, maybe Zoom system for your house party. Hell, if you needed a Christmas tree, buy it on the first ticket back New Year's Eve. Specialized two-way plumbing job, buy it, return it. Need a jackhammer to bust up the yard, buy it, return it. Okay, so that actually fits, that whole thing. So I got that, which is good because I can come back and do this. So I got that whole part. And I might mess with the structure a little bit, maybe put the chorus right after this talking part, which would be good too. Open it up and then do that. But this is kind of the part where he would say, Dad, this is a bunch of other times that I done it, right? So I need to end that one verse off with some advice from Dad, right? So we were talking to back. He said, hey, Dad, why'd you take? Seems so new. Why'd you go and do that? It seems so damn useful. said, son, take my advice. You'll never get far in life. I said, son, take my advice. You'll never get far in life if you buy something that you'll only use once. So there might be another line that goes in there somewhere. He's used it in the list of things that he did all the time. Super Bowl Sunday, need a big screen TV. Name a new sound of a house party. Hell, if you need it, a Christmas tree. He only needs it once a year, right? The house party, once a year. And then they got 30-day returns. So we're going to grab 3 of these for the next part so I can see what we need. Command C to copy it in. We're going to put it in here. Whoops. We wanted to put it up here, not down there. Command V. All right, we're going to take this out. All right. And then that's where the chorus goes. So I'm kind of pushing through a bunch of different stuff, right? I'm trying to make the structure of the song. I'm trying to write the song, lyrics. Doing pretty good over here on this part. I had this part already. Now the second verse, I've got a lot of that already written. It's going to be a little bit I already have a lot for the second verse. And I don't know if it's going to be as long as the first verse, but since we're still writing here, go back to this part here, and we'll go back to this and record over that because we don't actually need this. So let's see if we can fill it all out, the whole piece. I'm glad my about this trick he had would be go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if he only used it once or it was something he wasn't gonna use that much, he'd take it on back and they'd give him back his money, refund his money. So anyways, he went down to the Home Depot and found a chainsaw to cut down a pesky tree in his backyard. The back of the trailer park, there you go. That he had one, so he asked my dad if he could borrow it, son, and he used it himself in the landscaping gun. So they passed it around to everyone in town, and that trailer park looked the best one in town. So they passed it around to everyone, something, and that trailer looked like the best one in town. The trailer park looked like the best one in town. I'm going to change town to something else later. But I like that. So you pass it around to everybody in town. All right, so back to recording. And we're going to try to start from right here. Just come in here. I'll take it back. I said, Dad, why'd you do that? It's damn useful. You live our life if you buy something that you only use once. And here's a list of things that I do often. Super Bowl Sunday, need a big screen TV, buy a new system for the house party. Hell, if you needed a Christmas tree, buy it on the first, take it back New Year's Eve. Specialized to the plumbing child, buy it, return it. Need a jackhammer to bust up the yard, buy it, return it. They got 30, until I get 30 this year. It doesn't quite match because we're doing pieces, which kind of sucks, but we're gonna come back and play the whole song once we know how it looks. And I got 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I just use my guarantee. Got 30 days guaranteed. Got 30 days guaranteed. All right, so that kind of gets us here. First verse. Let's grab some stuff for the second verse, which we've kind of kind of already written. Make sure we're right on the right spot. Nope, I'm not. Again, I do that a lot. It's like my little quirk. All right, so let's put, I don't know if we need, let's put 4 in just like the other one. Keep it symmetrical for now. I don't know what we're going to need. All right, so let's go back. Let's start right in the second verse. And I'm doing this again so I can figure out how long the song needs to be from each part before we go into the bridge. And I think I've got a pretty good deal with that now. The last part of the song, which actually comes now, we only get 2 verses and 2 choruses. It's not super long, but it's not short. I don't know what it'll end up being. Maybe like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe less than 3 minutes. I didn't really plan to have a solo for this song because it just doesn't really fit the vibe. I'm really more thinking of like speech and acoustic. All right. So, some of you might be questioning the morality of what my daddy did to those poor billion-dollar corporate stores. But he said, son, ain't no one ever gotten worth that great unless they lied, cheated, and stealed along the way. See, I don't remember how this cadence went. So here's a list of stores that my daddy had no qualms to return anything that he picked up and taken long term that he needed. And then see that now I think it's going to end up being 2 verses long, according to how that came out. Now, here's the list of stores my daddy. So unless they lied, cheated, or killed. He said, son, ain't no one ever gotten worth that much unless they lied, cheated, or killed along the way. So if they trade stock and they ain't your, if they trade stock. So I wanted to actually have a line in there about not doing it to regular, like, stores around the neighborhood, you know? So, like, regular people's stores, like mom and pop shops. So maybe that's where I'll put that in right here. I'll put a line in here. Lied, cheated, and killed along the way. Worth that much unless they lied, cheated, or killed along the way. But if they own stock and they ain't, I don't know. But if you can buy their stock, yeah, but if you can buy their stock, they're not a local shop. There you go. Which has a couple connotations actually. If you use that word, if we say, but if you can buy their stock or they ain't a local shop, like a local shop, it could mean a union shop or a local shop, like one that's close by, which is another point that we're trying to make with this song. Like, don't do the 30-day guarantee with your local neighborhood. That wouldn't be very cool, but big giant corporations, who gives a shit? All right. But if you can buy their stock and they're not a local shop, feel free to participate in what my daddy called the poor man's guarantee. And now here's a list of the stores my dad frequented. Local shop. I don't know if that'll fit, but we'll check it out later. Maybe it'll fit. All right, I'm going to try to go back to the top. I don't want to stream too long today. Make sure if you're out there and you're watching this later that you check out Cold State. Robman717 is the front man for that band. As he says, he's playing at a brewery in Newville and JBS in Mechanicsburg. You could probably find that on their page somewhere. So make sure you check that out. You can see it in the chat. And appreciate you watching, by the way. All right, let's go back and see if we can do this a little bit better. The other thing you're gonna have to do later is make sure that you can, and I set this up beforehand. Like I have the cadence where I can play the guitar and sing it at the same time. Like you don't want to like write a song that you can't sing at the same time if you plan and change this. Like if you plan to perform it out and actually play your instrument. Like I could have had a like whole rap thing going on with this beat because it's a pretty sick beat. I could have done a rap thing, but I'm not gonna be able to play my guitar and do it at the same time. And that kind of defeats the purpose of going for that Johnny Cash story anyway. It's got its feel, but I'm glad my. All right, let's start from the beginning and see if we can get some feeling into it. Because sometimes I need a little bit of a feel. They got 30-day return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I just use their guarantee. They got 30-day return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I just use their guarantee. Got 30 days, guaranteed. Got 30 days, guaranteed. When I was just a wee young lad, my dad told me about this trick he had where he'd go down to the store and buy something that he needed. But if he didn't use it much or wasn't use that much, he'd take it back. They'd give him and refund his money. So anyways, he went down to the Home Depot and found a chainsaw to cut down a pesky tree he had. When my neighbor saw that he had one, he asked my dad if he could borrow it some, and he used it to take care of the landscaping in his yard too. Then they passed it around to everyone they found, and the trailer park looked like the best one you'd ever seen in that town. So as we're taking it back, I said, Dad, why'd you go and do that? It seems so damn useful. He said, take my advice, you'll never get far in life if you buy something that you only use once. Now, see, I'm a little bit too far ahead, so I gotta take out a bars. And that kind of sucks. But that's okay, we'll start from here. Take my advice, you'll never... So, take it back, I said, Dad, why'd you go and do that? That chainsaw seems so damn useful. He said, son, take my advice, you'll never get far in life, so I can leave out this one where I fumbled, and now we've got it. So we've got that verse. This is getting pretty good. You borrowed some, and he used it to take the landscaping that he had, another yard that he had. They passed it around to every one they found, and that trailer park looked like the best in town. Looked like the best one in town. There you go. So as we're taking it back, I said, hey, Dad, where'd you go? I said, Dad, why'd you go and do that? It seems that chainsaw seems so damn useful. Son, take my advice. You'll never get far in life if you buy something that you'll only use once. Super Bowl Sunday, need a big screen TV. Sorry, coughing over here. Super Bowl Sunday, need a big screen TV, maybe bad party for your house party. And this is my favorite line I've written so far. Hell, if you're needing a Christmas tree, buy it on the 1st, take it back New Year's Eve. Literally exactly 30 days. Buy it on the 1st, take it back New Year's Eve. 30 days. Specialized tool for your plumbing job. Buy it, return it. Need a jackhammer to bust up the yard. Yeah, that's... Now, some of you might be questioning the morality of what my daddy did to those poor billion-dollar corporate stores. All right. That's where we were about to go in. All right, let's lead in to here. I want to turn down our repeat. So I got it right here. If you buy something that you'll... Super Bowl Sunday, need a big screen TV, maybe talk about it for your house plumbing job. Buy it, return it. Need a jackhammer to bust up the yard. Buy it, return it. Wait, 30 days return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I'll just use that guarantee. They got 30-day return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I just use their guarantee. Got 30 days guaranteed. Got 30 days guaranteed. All right. I've got my buddy coming over to record some drums tomorrow. Maybe we'll throw some stuff in there. All right, so let's... Now, I'm not sure why that doesn't quite fit in there. I didn't get it all the way over, it doesn't look like. Yep, see, that's not right. That should be over just a smidgen. Maybe. Let's zoom in. Yep, it's not quite on there. Ooh, this whole thing's off. That should be right here. 161. That's weird. I must not have... Wow. All right, well, that doesn't matter. Just go over here. I must have cut it off. Well, what we'll do is we'll take this out and put this one in here. Oh, is that one short too? Shit. That whole thing's short. Damn. Oh, crap, it's all short. No wonder it sounded like crap. All right, that's cool. We can pull it out, though. Maybe. Use that guarantee. They got 30-day return. Yeah, that's not going to work. It just worked because there's no sound at the end. That guarantee. They got 30 days. So if I paste that right here, it'll work. That kind of sucks. Oh, look at that. That one actually fits all the way in. I must have cut the first one off and wherever I put it. Ha. Cut one of them off. All right, so that gets us back to the beginning of the song. Back to this part where we've got 3 bars, 4 bars, but we're probably just gonna go with 18 bars because each one of those has 6. So let's see if we can put this together with 18 bars instead of 24. Now some of you might be questioning the morality of what my daddy did to those poor billion-dollar corporate stores. But he said, son, ain't no one never gotten worth that much unless they lied, cheated, or killed some along the way. Yeah, so that needs to all mix together here. I'm not sure that fits. Alright, I think I've been on here for about an hour. I don't know. What's the time on this stream? Anybody know? Can't remember when I started. Rob came on right at the time I started. I wasn't going to do more than an hour. Unless people are up for some more. 3:55. So we got about another 15 minutes that we can throw in there. Or was that chat was back when he was talking about his shows. Don't forget to check those guys out, by the way. Try to see if there's a timestamp on there. I wish I would have checked out the time while it was on when I jumped on. Anyway, that song's 30-day guarantee. Still working on it. I've got a last part of it that fits into this, just so that you guys kind of get more of the gist of what I'm going for. It fits into this
Super
part.
Bowl Sunday, need a big screen TV, maybe transplanted for your house party. Hell, if you're needing a Christmas tree, buy it on the first, take it back New Year's Eve. Specialized to your plumbing job, buy it, return it. Need a jackhammer to bust up the yard, buy it, return it. Wait, 30 days return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I'll just use that guarantee.
You can see where I messed up.
They got 30-day return, so I get 30 days to use it. When I can't afford it, I just use their guarantee. Got 30
because we had to fix that mess up when I
guaranteed. Got 30 days guaranteed.
Now, some of
of you might be questioning the morality of what my daddy did to those poor billion-dollar corporate stores. See, I need to say, but he said, see, I need to stop right here. And instead of going into that, I need to go right into the next line so there's not a break. That's where I messed up. All right, so let's try it again. Now, some of you might be questioning the morality of what my daddy did to those poor billion-dollar corporate stores. But he said, son, ain't no... So I need to make sure I go there. So it's got to be... So now some of you might be questioning the morality of what my daddy did to those poor corporate, billion-dollar corporate stores. But he said, son, ain't no one ever gotten worth that much unless they lied, cheated, and stole along the way. But if you can pay their... But if you can buy their stock and they're not a local shop, feel free to participate in what my daddy called the poor man's 30-day guarantee. And here's a list of the stores my daddy had no qualms but had and did a lot of returning. And that's Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, Costco, Best Buy, BJ's, Target, Office Max, Amazon, Northern Navy, Burlington, Kohl's, Staples, Macy's, Nordstrom's, Dick's, Petco's, Foot Locker, Sephora, Petco's, PetSmart, Apple, Victoria's Secret. It just goes into, starts naming a bunch of stores that are corporately owned that you could do this to. And then it'll end kind of just naming a bunch of stores. And that's how it goes. So yeah, that's 30-day guarantee. I think I got a pretty good basis to continue writing this next time. Like I said, my buddy Michael is coming over tomorrow to record some drums with me for a bunch of different songs. So I have a lot of different content on the way. Of course, my favorite one, we could close out with my Space Ghost song. I've been doing a lot of that. I wish I would have started recording this when I was doing the vocal background parts, because I had to write out like fifths and fourths. It would have been fourths if we were in a minor key, but fifths is what I ended up using for that because it was an upbeat song. And if you want to check out Space Ghost, I can close with that. Let me bring off the picture in picture, and we can open that. We were working on this one the other day. We were making some cuts. Oh, I gotta save first. You don't want to never not save. We already know this is 30-day guarantee. Oops. All right, so we're good. 30-day guarantee. All right, let's save it. Man, it's been a long day. It's 1 a.m, almost. I got to record tracks tomorrow, but let's pull up. So yeah, I actually have a bunch of stuff. Open recent. We want to open that. So 210 EQ channel 2 just got to load. All right, well, we can play that. I don't want to load it from the template, buddy. All right, Space Ghost. So I have this little tiny section. So let's put this back up. Whoops, wrong camera. So this is a little tiny section of a much bigger file. This is the last time I had a band over, and we played a bunch of stuff, including Space Ghost. This is when we were writing this. Actually, this wasn't the last time, but this was when we were able to record stuff. So anyway, we can check that out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Space Ghost by the Robison and my friends. Check it out. That's Michael on drums, and you're going to hear organ a little bit. That's my buddy Nelson. dying in this heat. Cast no just fire up a rocket and aim for the highest peak, and then you'll get your wings to escape from here. We're gonna fly so high, we'll catch a vibe of the atmosphere. Oh, come on, ditch the world with me. Who needs a planet when there's never-end? Oh, come on, ditch the world with me. We'll get so high we'll lose the gravity. Oh, we're gonna space go. Ditch the world, ditch the world, ditch the world, kiss the world bye-bye. Oh, we're gonna space go. Let's get off the road. Up here it's clear that the world is just a bunch of selfish simians living in fear and loss. The world's on fire, will the masses lose hope? Clear the smoke, it's the only way I know how to cope. Oh, come on, ditch the world with me. Oh, we're gonna stand yours, fire up the rocket and kiss this planet goodbye. Let's catch this bitch of the world, grab a rocket and get so high. Let's catch this bitch of the world. Let's get up the road.
All right, everyone. It's cool having you. Totally figured out why I was quiet and my mic was. I had all these settings set up before. Just gonna play my song again, Space Ghost. Damn. I wish I would have checked the gain on my video input, because it would have been a lot better. Wouldn't have been as gainy and maybe potentially distorted. I'm gonna see how it looked. I may end up having to delete this video, but anyway. Till next time, folks. I'm outie. Not outie.